Hello everyone, Brad Johnson here, and I want to talk about emotions being the greatest tool you could ever ask for. Now, in my newest healing system, which is light circuitry attunements, the focus of that healing is all based upon working with the emotions that we have buried within ourselves. Now, the major organs of our body are basically magnets that attract certain forms of atrophy, certain forms of degradation based upon the type of emotions, the type of mentality and belief systems that we contain within ourselves. And so our body is functioning as this gauge. It's letting us know that when an emotion is compromising the integrity of our body, then we're going to start receiving pain. We're going to start being aware of what we're carrying. But this again leads to the idea of saying, well, emotions, are they a bad thing to have? Should we not really be having emotions? Whereas I look at that and I say, no, emotions themselves are one of the greatest gifts you can ever receive. They're one of the greatest tools that we could possibly have. And the reason why that is because they are giving us a gauge. They're letting us know exactly when we're going past the boundaries, when we're stepping deeper into the red, when we're going off into this intense gauge. That's the entire purpose of emotions themselves, is that what we have been believed to think of them is feeling that they are just attempting to punish us, or that we need to just ignore these emotions. We need to cast them aside. We need to let them go and not acknowledge them and forget that they're there and just proceed on with life. And this is us ignoring our own natural function through our body, through our mind, through our hearts. It's very important to value the emotions that you have, whether they be negative or positive. So when you have a negative emotion, let's say for example it's frustration, that frustration is only there because it has worked as a defense mechanism, preventing you from seeing something that you could not yet understand. Being able to see something in a certain light, where you are now only looking at a keyhole-based reality, to giving you some type of calmness, to basically put this barrier in place, as for you not to go overboard, not to go into some type of psychotic shock, not attempting to go into some particular type of overwhelming arrangement that could do some incredible damage to you. So emotions are put in place as an intense barrier. When we have the know-it-all to look into these emotions and understand exactly why they're there, they basically have been these placeholders, these keyhole realities, just looking into this very small hole and realize that we can only see so much of this picture. But that small little keyhole becomes your entire life as it relates to that situation. And we are bred not to feel that we need to have the capability of actually being able to heal that emotion. We have to just do some type of management for it. So basically what that's saying is that your emotion is there, but rather than trying to heal, dissolve, and transmute that emotion, we're just going to manage it. We're just going to look into emotional management, or we're going to look into anger management, or we're going to look into stress management, etc. And that's really ridiculous, because all you're doing is you're just admitting that there is this barrier here that happened to you at a certain particular point of your life, and feeling that you are incapable of being able to heal that emotion itself, so you just have to kind of arrange it in a way. You just have to kind of put it in a box and saying, it's okay, you're going to get these outbursts again, you're going to get pissed off again, you're going to get frustrated again, you're going to get angry again, but that's okay, we're just managing it. Your emotions are not meant to be managed. Your emotions are meant to be acknowledged. They are meant to be looked at. And that emotion is just telling you about yourself and saying, here is where there is a wound. But the body has basically patched this area of the wound up, and it has prevented us from looking at a much bigger picture. And this, of course, is what associates belief systems into our hearts. We now have belief systems associated with frustration, with anxiety, with anger, with sadness, with depression, with all of these forms of emotion. So the emotion itself is there as a tool. It's letting you know this part of you is upset. This part of you has been injured. And your body will do everything it can to tell you that this emotion is there and that you have gone through this quote-unquote difficulty because nothing has been done to acknowledge that this emotion exists. So emotion is indeed a fantastic tool. And it's meant to be looked at as a best friend, as an ally. Because all you're doing is you're looking at a hurt shadow version of yourself that has been in a state of frustration, that feels angry when a situation like this comes through. Looking into the idea of personal triggers. Well, triggers as well are a great thing. Also, I certainly have had quite a few myself. I've had quite a lot of emotional states. I've had quite a few triggers myself. But I really thank those triggers for coming up, because what you're doing is you're training yourself to be aware of these emotions, of these triggers that come together. They're not meant to say that, oh my goodness, I got a trigger and I reacted in this way and I must be a really horrible person. And then I just walk away and I do something else. And that's basically not having an alliance for emotion. That's feeling that it's becoming more of your enemy. It's feeling like you're dumping more fuel on the fire and saying, I'm a horrible person because I was triggered in this way. I'm a horrible person because this emotion is there and I better just throw some more dirt upon it and just try and bury it deeper, because I don't want to be known as that person who's angry or that person who's frustrated or that person who's chronically depressed, etc. I just need to bury this and walk away and continue on with my life. Certainly that's a choice, but your life is going to be very, very compressing. It's going to be contained inside this cube, and you won't really be able to go too far inside this little cube. So the whole key here is being able to work in alliance with your body, feel exactly where there are discomforts within your body, and just even doing that right now as you listen to this. Has there been an emotional situation that has come up where you feel that emotion and it feels like it is contained in a certain area of the body? That there is just not even really a painful sensation, but just something where you feel that there's a flutter, or something where you are able to notice where that pain comes from, that emotional issue. Well, this is again your body telling you, hey, this is where it is. This is where you need to concentrate. This is where you need to bring your awareness to. And what we need to do is, when we become aware of where that emotion is located in the body, we want to just start taking deep breaths. We want to bring ourselves into a situation where we are receptive to that emotion that we are encountering. That emotion is attempting to get our attention. That's why we attract triggers into our life. These triggers are basically the flip switch that show us a light is coming on inside our body. And oh, lo and behold, here's depression, here's frustration, here's anxiety. So the triggers are doing us a favor. They're showing, hey, this is still buried here. Here's a light that I'm turning on. Here's the emotion that you can now look at. Now you have the opportunity to bring peace to this emotion, to love that emotion. So what we want to do is that, as well as acknowledging the emotion, we want to bring ourselves into a state of receptivity. We want to be able to move it into alignment where we can be on equal ground. So if we have a very intense negative emotion, we want to be able to reinforce ourselves through positive emotion to meet that bridge, at least on that equal state of exchange. So when you're looking at that, just imagine putting 3 positive things upon yourself for every negative feeling that you have, any negative thought that you have about yourself. Throw 3 positive things. What did you do this morning? I got up. I brushed my teeth. I had a shower. I went for a walk and it was beautiful. Those 3 things felt good. Great. Start bringing those 3 positive thoughts into the fold here and start raising yourself up until you feel you are parallel in looking at this emotion itself. Now, as you are able to bring that positive reinforcement into the aspect of the negative energy that could represent the quote-unquote negative energy, or the negative emotion, now you're able to look at it. Now you're able to bring it into love, bring it into compassion, bring it into forgiveness, and being able to just start following the breath. For example, you may feel that there's a tightness in the chest. when you start thinking of a situation that happened to you in the past where you felt maybe it was a bad move, I missed a job opportunity, I missed an opportunity to have a really great relationship with somebody. But as soon as I think about that, I just get this big tightness in the solar plexus, and it feels awful. All right? So now we want to channel that energy. We want to just go back into the mind and feel where that was really, really tight. So now we're putting all of that energy, and we want to make this as tight as possible. It may sound crazy, but we're actually bringing all of that tightness, we're bringing all of everything that represents the energy of that emotional tightness into the area of our solar plexus. Now that we got all that tightness, let's just breathe. Take a deep breath in and count to 5 in your mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause for 2 seconds. 1, 2. Breathe out for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Repeat this process. Breathe in 5 seconds. Pause for 2 seconds. Breathe out for 7 seconds. Keep doing that. And just feel like this oxygen is coming into your body. It's surrounding the tense part of the chest and the solar plexus where this emotion is. You're holding your breath for 2 seconds after you breathe in to basically bring all of that energy of oxygen and containing that into the emotion. And now you're breathing out. You're imagining you're just scooping that emotion out with the breath. And you're slowly releasing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And your breath is now going to start making that feel easier. So you're breathing through the energy. You're breathing through the emotion. And you're now allowing your entire chest now to feel like it's lighter, to feel like it's more open. Now, that's just a simple breathing exercise that's helping you to work with this emotional state. And that's what you're doing. Anytime that particular tension becomes stronger, breathe into it. Again, 5 seconds in, hold for 2 seconds, breathe out for 7 seconds. Continue to repeat until you feel that area of your body expanding, feeling like it's becoming much more spacious. Feels like there's a lot more room in there now, where it's not getting so tight and restricted. Okay? So it's kind of like a miniature version of the light circuitry attunement, although we go a little bit more deeper into it. But this is something that can also help just to relieve certain forms of emotions. One bonus I would like to put in that breathing exercise is just putting in this love feeling. So as you're breathing in that oxygen with the in-breath, you're just feeling all of this love coming into your body. Feeling it coming into the nose, going down the throat, in through the lungs, and into the area where that emotion is felt. As you're holding a breath, again, you're just converging all of that energy into the quote-unquote emotional knot where it is contained in the body. As you breathe out, you're just imagining that the love is pushing all of that energy out of your body, and you're saying, I love you, to that emotion that's coming out, right? So this is just a simple emotional exercise using breathing that will help to alleviate some of that particular pressure within emotion. But emotion, again, is helping us. It's showing us as a tool where we are out of balance and what we can do when we accept the emotion. Emotions themselves, again, are that of keyhole reality. They're helping us to understand that it's showing us everything that we know we do not want to be. That's showing us everything of who we are not. And that is a great service. When we start getting emotional, we start feeling that things are not going our way, that we're getting frustrated, we're getting angry, we're getting irritated, we're getting sad, we're getting depressed. All of that is coming together. So it shows us exactly what we can do to come to terms with that emotion, helping us to adjust, helping us to change, helping us to evolve, helping us to expand. So that when we do this, the emotion no longer needs to be there. It no longer needs to be a barrier preventing us from going into an area that is truly of our natural self. So emotions are being this defense mechanism that's attempting to show us we have a problem with how this situation turned out. And it is through the ability of us experiencing lack of change, lack of evolution, lack of worth, lack of value. and showing us that once we come to terms with this emotion and we make peace with it, now we've expanded, now we've changed. Emotions are the prelude to expanding our intelligence. That's what intelligence truly is. Intelligence is not about taking an SAT. It's not about taking an IQ test. Intelligence is not intellect. Intelligence is the ability to change yourself, the ability to evolve, the ability to see all of the facets of yourself and bringing those facets into yourself in the greatest potential that you can. That is intelligence, the ability to change. If you are able to change, if you are able to look into your emotions, if you are able to look into yourself and give yourself this harmony, by looking into these emotions, loving them, bringing them compassion, and allowing them to be forgiven, that is a person with intelligence. That's the idea of being a true spiritual being, because a spiritual being is able to look at everything around them and love it, accept it for what it is, without them feeling that they need to tweak external reality. Thinking they need to tweak this person, or tweak this situation, or tweak this circumstance that is something outside of themselves. We can't do that. And as long as we keep trying to do that, we're just doing this endless rat race, running around in circles. So the whole key here is making emotions your ally. They are showing you exactly what they're all about. It's kind of like looking at those Saturday morning cartoons where the hero is strapped to a log, they're tied down, and then there's this buzzsaw that's turning on. But before that buzzsaw can reach it, you have the villain over here that could, quote-unquote, represent the emotion, telling the hero all about his evil plan and how he came up with this and how he's going to pull it off, etc. Well, that is exactly what our emotions do with us. You know, we may feel that we're strapped down by the emotions and feeling that they're so intense, but my goodness, they are going to tell you everything about how they came to be. So it's like that Saturday morning cartoon villain that's telling you all about their plan, telling you all about how they conceived it, about how they came into being, how they're monologuing you to death. Well, that's exactly what the emotions do. They will tell you everything about how they came to be, about how they were brought into you, and about how they are attempting to show you a part of yourself that you don't want to see, until you're able to move yourself into a state of positive reinforcement and bring yourself into that equal bridge. And now you're able to work with it. Something just as simple in a miniaturized process as the breathing exercise that we did. That's, again, a very good first step. But again, working with something like light circuitry attunements, helping to fully work into that emotion, completely bringing it into a state of peace, and now putting a much more positive energy into yourself that will create amazing, miraculous healing effects, which have been demonstrated through the hundreds of sessions that I've been doing so far with the light circuitry attunement, and it's absolutely incredible. So again, this is what I want to share with everybody all together, is just representing how emotions are the greatest tool that we can possibly ask for, as they show you yourself and even give you ideas about how you can help to heal that emotion and become, once again, that aspect of an intelligent being, accepting everything and changing everything about yourself that needs to be changed for you to walk that genuine path. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. For more information on this topic or any other topics on my channel, please feel free to visit my website, realitywhisperer.com, and I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Take care. Namaste, and may it be well with you.